Brain, Spine, and Nerve Center. Kina Neuro, established since 2017 and founded by Seventh-day Adventists. We provide a Christ-centered patient care through specialized medical services from brain and surgery to neurodiagnostic tests. Whatever your condition, headaches, strokes, brain and spine tumors, brain and spine injury, weakness in arms and legs, seizures, and so much more. Your recovery is just a phone call away. Call us today at 459-2228 or 459-2229 or 714-5503. Kina Neuro, the Brain, Spine, and Nerve Center.
Remember me.
Welcome to Mind Your Business, a program strategically designed to equip you to be your brother's keeper. Here are your hosts, Pastor Leroy David and Elder Alvin Flora.
Yes, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers. We are certainly happy and find joy in being here on Mind Your Business at this afternoon. We just want to say thank you for joining us, because we know, of course, you have so much to do, but you decided that Mind Your Business is your favorite program and that you decided to stick with us. So we really appreciate your presence. And of course, let other persons know that Mind Your Business is on, and we have a very special, informative, and exciting program for you. And trust me, you will learn a lot today. Certainly. So let me say welcome to you, those persons in St. Lucia or those persons abroad in the United States, in Canada, wherever you roam. Know that, Mind Your Business is very happy to have you on this program. Of course, last week we had a very interesting time. Last week we dealt with the authentic man. Are you ready for him? And Elder Marvin James gave us some insight into who this authentic man is and really and truly how to be ready for him. Today we have our main subject is pursuit of excellence. Pursuit of excellence. And our objective is to help the MYB family understand how to use our educational institutions to reach excellence in youth development. And certainly this is a discussion we're looking forward to. Our key text for Mind Your Business is: do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of the others. And that is taken from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. Our subject text for today: finally, brethren, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is honorable, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think of these things. That is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Certainly, I'm not alone, and Pastor David is right here with me. Let me welcome him to our program.
Thank you, Elder Flora. Greetings and salutations to you, our MYB family. It's always our pleasure to be here with you so that we can discuss important issues concerning our own development and our place as human beings in our community, in St. Lucia, across the island, and whether in the Caribbean, of course, the rest of the world. And as Ella Flora has indicated, we're looking forward to today's discussion. It promises to be, I said excellent.
Yes.
It promises to be excellent.
That's right.
Yes, in pursuit of excellence. Yes. And so we're looking at it today. And I'm sure at the end of it, I would want to fill a form, Ella Flora.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Let's see what happens. And we're hoping that our viewers and listeners too would be doing the same. We invite you to bow your heads if possible so we can offer a word of prayer. Kind, loving, gracious Father, thank you for the breath of life. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for taking us all safely here to studio where we can participate in another program for MYB. Be with us as listeners, viewers, and indeed, oh God, may you guide the conversation so all of us would leave with this refreshing feeling and having achieved what we want. We ask for your blessings, we pray in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
So And again, the topic for our discussion, pursuit of excellence. And of course, as the program unfolds, you'll understand where this topic is coming from. Just for our prelude, excellence is a quality that people appreciate because it's hard to find. To find excellence in areas, for example, as you look over in St. Lucia, as you cast your eyes in St. Lucia, I'm sure there are plenty of areas you would like to see excellence in, or we should pursue excellence in. Excellence is a quality of excelling, of being truly the best in something, in some area. So whatever area that you are working in, I'm sure everybody wants to be excellent in that area.
Yes.
Getting an A shows excellence. Michael Jordan's basketball career was filled with excellence. We love Picasso and Shakespeare for their excellence. When you see excellence, you should appreciate the work that went into it, because a lot of work goes into being excellent. So much in the world falls short of excellence, and that's from vocabulary.com. In our context in St. Lucia, we can see our world champion, Julian Alfred, and not just St. Lucia, I mean world champion, as excellent. We can mention Darren Sammy, we can mention Johnson Charles, Derek Walcott, or Sir Arthur Lewis. In fact, excellence all over St. Lucia. And we are proud of these moments. As we celebrated our independence, we celebrated our areas of excellence. There are many more that we can talk about that airtime cannot allow us to talk about. However, we wish that we could spread excellence all around St. Lucia in all sectors. And perhaps there are institutions responsible for that. And so we are happy to welcome the administrators from an institution that is of excellence. And I believe their motto is pursuit of excellence. So we're happy to welcome members from the administration from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. And we have with us here today our college advancement officer, Mistress Tracy Pilgrim George. We have with us the Vice Principal of Academics, Dr. Winston Fulgence, and we have the Principal, Dr. Marjorie Jameson Charles. Want to welcome all of them to our studio. Want to welcome all of you to Praise FM, and we want to say thank you for joining us in our discussion today, Pursuit of Excellence. Maybe you can say a few words just to wet your feet, to say hello.
Oh, hello, everyone. And as Elder Flora said, excellence is something that we have to aspire to. And Arthur Lewis Community College is in our motto, speaks to the pursuit of excellence.
Amen.
Yes, and I'm Tracy Pilgrim George, and I thank you very much for having us here on the program, and we hope to really share some valuable information, because I know as I listen to you speak of the athletes who excel in the academics, I also want to say that, mothers and fathers who are working hard to keep their children together and who are listening to this program to be able to find the better education for their children. These are people who are also in pursuit of excellence. Keeping a household, organizing everything is excellent. So I know that your listeners today are in pursuit of excellence because they want what's best for their children.
And they will listen excellently as well.
It's really about national development, country pursuing excellence, putting things in place to ensure that there is excellence. The entire country benefits from that, families, businesses. So it's about pursuing excellence.
Yes, thank you. We have a good start.
Yeah, and Elder Flora, I couldn't help. I felt nervous for a few seconds. I can imagine going into an interview and these three individuals interviewing me. So let's see what happens today.
Okay.
The thing is now, you're the one interviewing.
Yes, it looks like yes. The tables have been
So
turned.
I got nervous for a moment. I'm like, okay, no, we'll do the interview now.
Yeah. You can't be nervous. They should be nervous,
We're
right?
supposed to be doing this now.
Yeah, but I kind of want to commend you, the three of you, for coming. Speaking for the Sir Arthur, but it speaks well as to your commitment and to not just Sir Arthur, I heard the VPC National Development.
National Development,
and it speaks well to have the three of you here. And not proud, but I'm happy I'm glad.
Yes, and,
know.
and so I'm joining you in saying that it says the value that they
Yes.
place in this moment,
Mhm.
because I'm sure you
Yes.
three are very busy individuals, and to get all three of you in the same spot at the same time for 90 minutes is not very easy in terms of scheduling. So we know
Yeah.
the task that it took,
Yeah,
and
to
we
be
really
there.
appreciate
To be
how you see this as an important venture to be here today. So we really appreciate that.
So thank you. By the grace of God.
Yes. So in terms of, let's begin with a simple question. SAAFA has been around for some time. Can you tell us a bit of a history of this amazing institution?
Well, I think that question falls to me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of my background. All right. So, Sir Arthur Lewis has been around since 1985. It was an amalgamation of three education institutions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that people over 50 will remember the Mount Technical College, the A-Level College, and the Teachers College.
Right.
So in 1985, an act of government was passed, and that act created the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, combining these three institutions.
Okay.
So we had now at that point divisions of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. It was Division of Teacher Education, Division of Arts, Science, and General Studies, and the other one was the Division of Technical Education.
Technical
Right,
education.
okay. Now the thing is, these three divisions are ingrained in people's minds, so people still think Sir Arthur is that. Sir Arthur is no longer that.
Okay.
But it's our three major areas. We've branched out into a number of other things. Nursing, for example, was not part of it before. Now we're doing a number of bachelor's degrees, which had not been imagined when the college was set up in 1985. But yeah, and we occupy one of the most, for me, is one of the most scenic and beautiful parts of the island, Mount Fortune. Has a horrible history. It was a history of war and killing and so on. But now it's now a place for education and national development. So it's our fort for education in St. Lucia, the bastion on the mall.
That can have a double meaning, fort, as in F-O-R-T.
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 Yeah.
But this is where many battles are fought.
Yes. and remember that in the past, the 14 was whoever occupied
The fort.
the fort
Right.
controlled the country.
Right.
And I must say I was a student of not Sir Arthur Lewis, but Teachers College, St. Lucia Teachers College, in 1981 to 83. So that tells you how long I've been in education. I started to teach on the 1st of March 1980.
Wow.
So I've been in education all my life. So this is something that education is me. So I have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So
March 1st, I wasn't born yet.
Let me think about one.
So that's, just look at me, you see how long she has
She has
served.
been serving.
Yeah.
She's been serving.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I got you were speaking and now you're speaking. So it's Sir Arthur Lewis is no longer.
It's not no longer A-level, it's no longer
Right.
DTEMS, it's
That-
no
that
longer
does not exist.
Teachers College. But some people still say A-levels.
Yes, because I still think.
Yeah. So it's
We have students who are 18 and they still say A-level, and I keep asking them,
Why?
where did you get that from?
Yes, because
Yeah.
they would.
Because if it ended in 1985 and it's still around, that's how. So people still-
Entrenched.
it's 2025.
But I thought it was really important as well to add, because some people might ask the question, why is it that we moved away from
Right.
these divisions?
Coming there.
And they were actually literally, because I've been at the college now for 14 years, and they were literally divisions. So you had a particular uniform for each division,
yes.
and people would
Identify them.
and stick within their groups. And so the idea is to get rid of this word division, because we are now one college. We are one college offering various degree programs.
Right.
So as a consequence, the uniform even changed. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yes.
Some people have actually been anti this change,
Yeah.
but we, as an institution, one of the things that we've done well, I think, is to move with the times. I think young people now understand that, when you're coming to learn, the way that you're dressed has to be presentable and has to be respectable. But at the same time, it's just easier to put on a pair of jeans in the morning, put on your polo shirt with your logo, and you're feeling young, you're feeling like you're actually at a university, at a college, and come to study. And so we're trying to maintain this structure where the students come with closed shoes,
Right.
properly labeled
well
the
labeled.
dress code.
Yeah.
And most of them are following that. And when they don't, you know how young people are. But it's been a very relaxed environment where they come to learn and enjoy themselves, and they're no longer divided. It is one college,
one
and you
college.
see that.
Did it seem like a competition before with the uniforms and the
Yeah, you
division?
couldn't go some places.
Yeah, because if you're at A level, you know there's a different
Yeah.
type.
You
of
were
person.
perceived
You
as.
perceived as you at A level.
Right.
So we wanted to get rid of this kind of
Stigma.
this misconception, and also we wanted to, it's from an inclusive standpoint.
Yes.
Excellent.
You know, we need to understand that everybody, we are all at Arthur Lewis Community College. You're not at A level or DTEMS or whatever.
Mhm.
There are different faculties. So you are in the faculty of humanities and sciences, or the faculty of health and wellness. You're in the faculty of engineering,
Education.
education and lifelong learning, and agriculture and tourism.
Right. Yeah.
These are the five
So,
faculties.
so no uniforms anymore.
They use the polo shirt, but one of the
uniform.
things we're looking for now is sometimes when we have to go out to
Formal.
to formal things, we're looking at getting them a blazer or something with that. Yeah.
I'll come for the place.
Yes.
You will enroll again.
But I don't know if you've noticed as well that we have this logo, which is the face of Sir Arthur.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was designed by one of our lecturers, Ted Sandiford.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And the idea, like when you see the Nike logo, all you see is the check, and you don't necessarily have to write Nike. So eventually, we're looking at, once you see that face, you know that you are from the South Lewis Community
Right.
College.
That looks good
That's
there.
it.
Yes, it's
See,
gorgeous.
I'm representing.
Yes,
Right. Excellent. Excellent.
that's great. That's wonderful. So, in what ways has the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College contributed to the development of St. Lucia?
I can take that one because I started talking about national development.
Yes.
Almost every professional in St. Lucia has gone through the walls of the South Lewis Community College. Almost every single professional here has gone through it. So the college has been the engine of economic growth in the sense that it has been building the human resources of the country since it was formed in 1985. So that's a couple decades of national development going on here. So we've made the institution, not we, just the institution has made a valid contribution to the college, and we keep moving to widen our scope and doing a better job of it. Because as you know, what the college was in 1985, it cannot still be in 2025.
And it's more than just the students. I mean, we also offer programs where we are training teachers to become better teachers. So you may not necessarily have gone through as a student, under the age of 18 after secondary school, but now that you are teaching, we have a program that does that. And of course, we spoke a little bit earlier about our lifelong learning. And so people have the opportunity to do courses at any time in their life to continue their education.
Don't forget the nursing.
And
And
gosh,
nursing.
that is a huge contribution.
We can't produce enough nurses.
We cannot produce enough nurses for St. Lucia, and as soon as our nurses are qualified, the UK and the US take them from us. Another contribution is community service. We as the name says, we are a community college. So we reach out to the community, we assist the community in whatever way possible. For example, the most recent community service venture we had was the Ancillary Library, the infant school, where we at the librarian at Sir Arthur Lewis. We did a big project where we equipped the Ancillary Infant School Library.
Right.
So there's there's a library and a lot of things are happening with them. And so we reach out to the community also, we assist.
Speaking of the library, is it accessible to the public?
The library at the Ancillary, yes, yeah.
No, not ancillary.
The one at the college.
Yeah, it is accessible. We have anybody who wants to come could come.
Okay.
Yeah, it's accessible.
And we actually have two libraries.
Yeah.
We have the Hunter Francois Library, which
Right.
is a general library named after one of our educational stalwarts. And then we have the Derek Walcott Library,
Wow.
where that library is stocked with Derek Walcott's personal collection. Okay, so before he passed, that donation was made to the college.
Oh, wow.
And we have a lovely little nook on campus called the Derek Walcott Library. So a lot of people come there to do work on Derek Walcott and literature and so on
Yes,
and
and
so
they
forth.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're hoping now we can expand.
Now, just a couple of days ago, we had a French delegation come in of senators. and they wanted specifically to see that library. So I've been in that library a number of times. And this time I went in and they said McDonald Dixon has just gifted the college one of Derek's, his first book of poetry, which his mother helped him to publish, and 25 poems by Derek. And we have that original copy.
Wow.
So I was blown away when I saw this.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's handwriting.
And Derek's Sir Derek's
Yes.
writing is in there. Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
So
That's
you
great.
need to go and see that.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
I need to make a
You
visit.
need to come and visit the Derek Walcott
And,
Library.
and that's why I'm happy this
Yeah.
is happening, because there's a lot happening at the college that people don't know about.
Right.
Yes.
I always tell my colleagues that we have the biggest secret in St. Lucia
Top secret.
because nobody knows what we're doing. We're doing a lot, and people don't know what they're hearing is not the positive stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's human nature.
That's sad.
But a lot is happening, so we're using your platform here.
Excellent.
Thanks, and
Feel free.
hopefully we can.
I don't know if you're going to get to interview us at all, because I mean, every time something is said, I just want to jump and say more and
Yeah,
more.
No, but
it's
that's
it's part of the
But it's
conversation.
a conversation.
Like the contribution in terms of development, we talk about hospitality and tourism. So, for
Yes.
example, today I had this amazing spinach soup, and it was made by our students. So, what we have is on campus a restaurant called The Fort,
Yes.
and it's
Wow.
open Tuesday to Friday.
Wow.
And our students welcome you to the restaurant. They seat you, they serve you, they prepare the food, and it's and the cost is about $25 for a 3-course meal.
The best value in cash.
Sorry,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on. $25 EC.
Yes.
Yeah, so you
Have
get
another place
you
for
get a
lunch.
first course.
I'm sure. I hope they are for vegans.
Okay, you are. Of course there is. Yeah, so you're invited.
There's always a vegan.
Pescatarian.
Yes,
Okay.
Right.
always a vegan option.
$25 for 3-course meal.
Yeah.
Okay. So Richie, you heard that?
Okay.
I'm curious though. So you moved away from not certificates, but associate degrees.
We have
now.
associate degrees.
Now
yeah.
you have
We're
the
doing,
bachelor's.
we're doing
You still
associate
have it.
degrees.
You
yeah,
still
we're
have
doing
associate
But you have
degrees.
added
Yeah,
bachelor's
yeah,
now.
yes.
yes.
I know if the teachers and also with the nurses. I'm not sure if there are others.
Yeah, we have five bachelor's degrees.
Oh, excellent.
We have one in business.
Uh-huh.
We have one in environmental studies and sustainability.
Okay.
With climate change and everything else, we figured we need to pivot to be able to serve the society to develop that skill set.
Nice.
That's cutting edge. So we have
Yeah,
that
of
one.
course.
That's 2. We have the teachers.
You want to go and school.
We have hospitality and tourism.
Mhm.
And number 5, I think, is
Anything agriculture?
No,
no. We have
AD.
associate. We have 3 associate degrees in agriculture.
Okay.
We said primary education, nursing, public health.
Right,
Public
public health.
health,
as
yeah.
well.
Public health. But agriculture, that's important. We do offer a degree program in agriculture, and I'm happy you brought that up because we spoke about the fact that 2 female students every year receive scholarships, full scholarships for the associate's degree, which is $5,000 EC. And then remind me to tell you about our 2+2 program, because $5,000 EC, and a lot of our credits are transferable to universities in the US, Canada, and Europe. So you would only have to do 2 years.
years, yeah.
But moving back to agriculture, so a female student, Helen's daughters gifted us with those 2 full-time scholarships for female students who want to pursue agriculture at the college.
So, sponsors who are listening, that can maybe
National
the same
development.
national development. Maybe the same can be done for the male students as well. Just to,
Yeah,
just to
of
offer some
course.
balance. So if you're listening and you're saying, okay, why female students? Then and you have the finance, you can always call them up and say, I want to balance this off a little bit.
And also, I want to put a plug for the past students who are listening.
Yes.
You have been there, you know what it is like, so we welcome you back to come and assist us in national development.
Praise the Lord.
Mm.
I'm sorry. So you have these 5. Yeah, I'm thinking since you're growing and expanding, are you moving into hoping to move into masters?
Not at this point, but what we have MOUs with different universities
Right.
who are able, who have asked or who are willing to to take our students
Okay.
into the master's program.
Excellent. Okay.
As a matter of fact, we just speaking to we have a MOU with a Spanish university that they're looking at the EMBAs. And the EMBAs we're looking at from a staff and also past students
Okay.
at 85% off.
Wow.
Scholarships. So students only pay about $740 US for it. So we started. We have our first cohort
How many you want?
of 49 people, The second cohort will start in July, and the third one was in December.
Okay.
So we have these MOUs with universities who take our students the same way. Miss Pilgrim George will speak to you about the 2+2 or Dr. Phil Jones in terms of universities that takes our students who are from 80 to third year of university. So they miss year 1 and year 2, so they go straight into year 3 and year 4, and parents save lots and lots of money that way.
Yeah,
So
lots of money.
Dr. Phil Jones could give you an example.
We can put a value on that.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Savings.
Savings.
Yes. So what's happening is we have a number of MOUs with a number of universities. I think it's important that we put that out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
One parent could not believe that she was going to save 100,000 EC because her daughter went to Sir Arthur Lewis.
Wow.
And here's why. The associate degree was accepted. Every single credit was accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, while we have MOUs, that particular case, we did not have an MOU with them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've come across several cases where we have no agreement with them, but they accept our associate degree. And our students go into third year in the American universities.
Wow.
We have there's a university in Switzerland where we actually, if you have an Sir Arthur Lewis associate degree, 1 year later, you will get a bachelor's degree
Wow.
in business or in
In
hospitality.
hospitality.
All right. And they have one of the programs which a lot of it is in industry. So you have to spend a lot more time in doing internships before you get your bachelor's degree. However, it's just that having gone through Sir Arthur Lewis, you can now do that. Otherwise, you have to spend 3 years there.
Or 4 years.
Which is more money.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about $100,000 for 2 years.
And the added value is the time away.
Time away,
Yeah.
yes.
You can't put a value on that.
Yeah.
The time away from your family.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very significant as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So a lot of people say, oh, Sir Arthur Lewis, you go to Sir Arthur Lewis, but going to Sir Arthur Lewis has economic value.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have not been talking about. So the $100,000 I've been talking about every time I get a mic. $100,000 is it's not
No easy
chump
money.
change.
Yeah.
It's
No.
not
Easy
chump
money.
change.
Another thing that's important, excuse me, Principal, if I may. One of the things that we've also done at the college is to really establish relationships with members of the diplomatic corps. So, for example, the French. I mean, we've been saying this forever and ever. If a student demonstrates B1 level French, they can study in any French-speaking territory at almost for free. So, what does that mean? In terms of what the European standard of education are, A1 would be really beginners. Then you have A2. Then you have B1, B2, C1, C2.
Right.
And so what they're saying, what we have seen, because we've had students who leave the college, Sir Arthur, there's one particular student, and he did mathematics, French, economics, and Spanish. He was so good in the French, he applied to university in Martinique. They didn't have the program in Martinique, so he went straight to France. He is now doing his master's in mathematics and economics in France. So it is phenomenal, having gone through our program. So I wanted to put a plug in there because we see fewer and fewer students wanting to do the foreign languages in secondary schools.
Yes, it's true.
And we're trying to push them and let them know we have, the Mexicans, we have the Moroccans, we're even offering Mandarin now at the college, right? Yes.
For
And
those
that's
who
to
want to go to
anybody?
Taiwan.
Anybody, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we
So
know
you
we have
just apply to do it and
your eyes are open, they're getting bigger and bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, we have Mandarin every semester. We teach. We have a gentleman from Taiwan who's teaching students
so
Mandarin.
that's for students who want to go
No,
to-
everybody.
Anybody.
Okay, the college has requirement. You must do history, St. Lucian history, and you must do a foreign language. So no matter what program you're doing, you must do these things.
Right.
It means now that the students have an option. So you could do French, you could do Spanish, you could do Mandarin, you could
Creole.
also do Creole.
Wow.
Creole Saint Lucie. Right? You
Yeah.
can also do that. So imagine, because the thing is, we're not just developing workers, we're developing citizens.
Yes.
Not just citizens for St. Lucia, but world citizens.
Right.
So if you have your language skill, you have a pretty good understanding of the society that you're coming from, then what more do we want?
Yeah. And another thing,
That's excellent.
from a psychological standpoint, I will always bring my psychology
yes, I
in
know
it.
that.
So after it serves as a gap between secondary school and university. At that point, if you realize the students at that age, they're usually in a state of flux.
Right.
So sometimes students would go straight to university without that gap. But that gap, as Arthur Lewis, what it does, it gives the students the ability to be self-directed learners, to be able to do things and so on. So that when they go into university, they will not be lost. I'm saying that to say that I studied. I spent some years in New Zealand. My PhD thesis is on making transitions from secondary to university.
Right.
And I have seen a number of the first year students, they struggle.
Right.
First semester is a nightmare for them.
Right.
So, but at Arthur, we see that too. First semester is a nightmare. Students fail subjects because they begin to get used. They're not used to the transition.
Right.
And in the new way of doing things, because at secondary school, the teachers on their backs,
Right.
everybody on their back, the parents. But when they get here, they're on their own.
Yes.
They have to go to class. Nobody look for them if they don't go to class. They have to be self-directed learners.
Right.
However, when they do that at athletes, they spend the 2 years there, they get used to it. So when they leave us and they go to university, they already have that. And I work at UWI St. Augustine. I worked there for about 15 years as a lecturer. One of the things that they're saying is that the best students came from Seattle Community College.
All right.
So we need to put that
Solution.
plug, yeah. Yes. They said, I always say, one thing our best students come from Seattle. So I need to put that plug in.
Right.
Yes.
So, when it comes to development of our nation, indeed, SAFA has made a great contribution, and
Yeah.
they keep making their
Yeah.
contributions
Yeah.
to our society. I went to SAFA. How many times I went to SAFA? I went twice.
Yeah.
I went twice. Yes, I did my electrical, and then after I did teachers college at SAFA. So yeah, so they have contributed
I
a
have
lot.
one on you. I went 3 times.
Oh man, I'll have to fix that.
Pray tell.
Oh, she wants to know your business.
I did the A-level
Okay.
program. I did the teachers college program.
Yeah.
And I did the UE program.
Yes, the UE program. Yes, that one
Yeah.
I did it with UE Open Campus.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very nice. Yes, the proudest moment as principal. You've been there for a short time. How long has it been?
It's a year and a half.
Yeah, wow, time really flies.
Time really flies. I came in from, as I said, I've been in education for almost 45 years.
Yes.
And I worked with you at Entry-Post Secondary.
Yes.
I was at Ave Maria before. And I was a guidance counselor at Entry-Post
yes.
Secondary. And I taught maths too and so on.
Right.
As the principal of Safa Lewis Community College, as you know, it is a very, very demanding job. But my proudest moment is seeing things come into place, seeing our students do well, seeing how the staff rally around each other to make sure that Sir Arthur Lewis Community College is the best it can be. In all organizations, you will have challenges. You have to face the challenges head on and handle them as best as you can. But Sir Arthur Lewis Community College is a good place to work as long as you're willing to work and willing to, and it's not coming from just about me, but about making a difference for your country. So when I came to St. Lucia, when I came back home, after 16 years away, I came back home to make a difference, to help my country, and to help the young people be the best that they can be.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and that's a good goal, and we need more organizations with that thrust and that mentality of excellence for not just adults but the young people, because they really are the future of the country. Right, they really are the future of our country.
So I'm curious, Ella Flora, College Advancement Officer, what does that entail?
Well, exactly what I'm doing here today, advancing the interests of the college, establishing relationships with, for example, as I indicated earlier on, members of the diplomatic corps, pushing the college in any way that, that I think that in directions that it needs to go. So, for example, I'm also the teacher responsible for the Interact Club. So we do a lot of community service projects and helping students to develop, because a library is not just about the book space. It's about an area for students to come and study. It's about audio visual, because I remember when I was at college, I would go to the library and sit and watch videos in Spanish and listen to music and so forth. The capacity for that no longer exists because the original building that we had was overrun by mold. And so we've been asking and trying to see how we can get monies in order for us to refurbish that building. But I think it may be a no-go. We're also don't have a space for students to be able to go. And I mean, right now we're refurbishing the gym. The gym before the lab, the gym first. So we have Makiba, who has joined our team, and Makiba Alcide,
Former national athlete.
Yes.
former national
She taught
athlete.
at Anchipo as well.
Correct. So she's doing the best that she can to bring in equipment. She's cleared out the gym and the space because obviously we want overall development for the young people there. So there's a lot that the college still needs. When it rains, you see kids running around, looking for a space to fit because we just don't have the infrastructure. The college is growing and we need to be able, government, private institutions, etc., have to invest in this institution because our young people need a place for tertiary education. I don't know if you saw that video that's gone viral about the education in the Caribbean, in the region, what's happening, World Bank.
World Bank report.
The World Bank report.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to take a
Well,
look
I
at
have
that?
not looked at it, but I heard it's not a very nice report.
Give it that very damning report.
Yes, they said after about 95% of the students who sat the CXC last year failed the basic math and English. And so only about 5% were able to make it through, and that's regionally. And so we're looking at how do we help our students, because obviously it's not the students' fault. There's something larger than them. And so we're trying to identify
What
the
that
areas
is.
that we can support them. So for example, we have it used to be called the bridging program. What is it called now, Dr. Fulgence, where if you may not necessarily, you may have failed mathematics, but you're coming in to do a degree program or some kind of a program, an access.
Access course.
You can do an access course, but continue to pursue what it is that you want to do. And so, not all of the time a student will come in with all of the requirements, but we have created a path for that student to access other courses so that they are able to then meet the requirements to
matriculate,
enter, to matriculate into the college. So it's not, I didn't make it this time. That's it for me. I have to find something else to do. It's not like that at all. You do your access courses, you get the support that you need, and then you can matriculate.
You have CVQs as well, eh?
And then
Students from the NSDC
Yeah, we're doing six
access our programs. Having qualified with the NSDC, they can access our programs so they don't look at next level.
Yeah.
So we're looking for pathways into tertiary education.
And then we're looking at recognition of prior learning also.
Yes, and so this is important. Maybe that's people like their legacy to live beyond their life, and perhaps someone is listening, a business person listening, a past student listening, and this is one way you can contribute. I heard about the gym. Maybe contribute to the gym, or the library. I heard about the library. Maybe contribute to the library, and your contribution, you can always speak to administration to see how you can get this done and make that contribution. Because in essence, we talk about we complain about the crime in the country. We complain about children just there not doing anything. But one way in which you can aid or help in solving these problems is by investing in the institutions that are responsible for their development. So if you're listening right now and you feel as if this is something I can get into, yes, sure. I would encourage you to do that fully.
And if you can contribute towards a building, you can contribute towards the education of a student, because there's still a lot of students that are suffering that they cannot, even if our fees are quite low, there's still many St. Lucian students that cannot access education because of financial struggles. Some don't have, food, some don't have transportation, some can't afford to buy the school shirts, etc., etc. So we give bursaries to help our students, but the more we have, the better. There is the A-Team, which is an alumni association, and about 2 or 3 years ago, they gifted the college $19,000 from alumni. And so $1,000 was given to 19 students to be able to help them to come to the college.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. That is 19 lives saved.
Yes.
Right? And we see, was that?
I said, help.
Oh, help, yeah.
And I'm saying 19, but it's actually more than 19 because these 19 would have families, right? So you help in that. You can't quantify that.
Yeah.
You cannot quantify that.
So with this report on maths and English, and then you have indicated and highlighted the fact that it's not just students, maybe another issue. What do you think are the next step for the format of education, whether it's St. Lucia or the Caribbean wise?
Okay, and now I could speak to that because I have looked in education globally, and this is not just a Caribbean issue; it is a worldwide phenomenon. And one of the things in terms of how education has, how we as a nation perceive education? What is education for? So that's the first question. What is your philosophy of education? How do you see education? How do the policymakers see education? Okay, so education is given a center stage based on how we see education. If we see education is for social and economic development, we will put the monies in place to do whatever.
Yes.
Where do we see education? I would say from the Trinidad standpoint, they pump a lot of money in education.
Yes.
A lot of money is pumped in education. They have kids, people have get up to master's level. Right? But was it effective? How effective was that in terms of quality education? Right? Many times we need to do what we call scaffolding. We need to scaffold our children. Academic scaffolding, educational scaffolding, because what happens is that many times we, as educators, what we do, we go and teach. But we have to look at the whole child. We have to educate the whole child. What are the socio-economic factors that inhibit learning or contribute to learning? Now, as an educational psychologist, that's what we do, is to look at the factors in the educational environment that contribute to learning. And there are a number of factors, a number of variables that I would need a whole 2 hours to talk about. So in essence, I'll be looking at the whole child.
Right.
What are some of the things that are happening to that particular child?
Right.
Okay, because there are many students who are very, very bright and very, very thing, but then they also have psychological challenges. They may have mental health issues and we do not pick them up. They may have learning disabilities. They may have dyslexia or dysgraphia. And we may not see that, but we just see that child as a child that is not performing, ADHD or whatever. That child is not performing and we put the child at the back of the class.
Right.
But many times we are doing a disservice to our children. Another set of students who are not looked at are the gifted and talented. And many times our gifted and talented students are bored in the class and they give a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And we do not understand how come that child is so bright and yet. Because have we challenged that child? You know, so the gifted and talented students also need our help. They also need us. And people talk about students who are marginalized or at risk youth. And I always say, we all at risk. Everybody's at risk. But there are some young people who are living in vulnerable circumstances. Okay? Because I'm at risk. You're at risk, Alvin. But you may not be living in vulnerable circumstances.
Right.
So the education system have to look at the child from the whole child. Whole child. And I want to advocate that. Catering for the needs of the whole child.
Yeah.
Right.
At this time, we'll take a short break and then we will return.
That was a good segue.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, a unity of three core eternal persons. God is immortal, all-powerful, all-knowing, above all, and ever-present. He is infinite and beyond human comprehension, yet known through his self-revelation. God, who is love, is forever worthy of worship, adoration, and service by the whole creation.
Seventh-day Adventists believe God has revealed in Scripture the authentic and historical account of his creative activity. He created the universe, and in a recent sixth-day creation, the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh. Thus he established the day as a perpetual memorial of the work he performed and completed during 6 literal days that, together with the Sabbath, constituted the same unit of time that we call a week today. The first man and woman were made in the image of God as a crowning work of creation, given dominion over the world and charged with responsibility to care for it. When the world was finished, it was very good. declaring the glory of God.
Let me say welcome back to our listeners and viewers. We are here discussing pursuit of excellence with members from the admin team of Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We have the principal, Dr. Marjorie Jameson Charles. We have the college advanced officer, Mrs. Tracy Pilgrim George, and we have the vice principal, Dr. Winston Fulgence with us. And of course, our lines are open. You can call and make your contribution and ask your questions. These are, academic people, very smart. You have doctors in the room, so they can answer all your hard, challenging questions. So you can ask them your questions. It is 4521011. And the WhatsApp platform 4619647. You can take your calls, your voice notes, and your messages. So our lines right now are open. Do call if you have a question, query, or comment, or you want to say that you want to make a pledge to SAFA for a certain area that they have highlighted today.
Yeah. So, Dr. Charles, before the break, you gave us this. You caused me to reflect and say, but are we ready to make those changes and to accept? In your assessment, I mean, you're a professional here. Do you think we are ready to other people at all?
We are ready to an extent, but we have to make that cognitive shift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mindset change that we have to make, and we have to confront the harsh reality.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as when we confront that harsh reality, and we begin to do that cognitive shift, then we could start, because it will not happen overnight. Because if something has been bad for a while, there is no plaster that will cure it.
Right.
But we could find out what is happening and try our best to make incremental changes. One of the things I always said as an educator, I would put my best teachers in the infant school. In the foundation areas. That is where the first 5 years, the first 7 years of the students' lives, this is where we have to ensure that the foundation is there. Now, in some instances, if we're in a school and the teacher doesn't even like maths or has not been passing the maths at all, and you have that person teaching students at the primary school mathematics, what foundation is there? So as an educator for so many years, I think our best teachers should be in the foundation areas to ensure that our students get it. As long as they get the foundation, the other things could come, That is one of the things I understood from a mathematics standpoint also. Foundations, and not abstract work. The students have to be able to live the experience of mathematics.
Right.
Understand it.
Yes.
But we can, we just have to have a mindset change and move as a team, and don't work in silos as if it's me, it's about me. It's not about me. It's about national development. It's about building the nation. It's about our children. It's about the legacy that we're leaving for them, and also for our students when they go overseas. Although they have been doing very, very well overseas, but when you say a St. Lucian student, we know pursuit of excellence. We know is an excellent student that we have. Even a St. Lucian worker. Excellence, because if we're talking excellence, we have to be excellent from day one.
Yes, it's
okay.
It's true, definitely. We have a question on the platform.
Yes, we do. Many years ago, different CXC grades were needed for entry, 1 and 2 for math and English. Has the entry requirements changed?
Entry requirements have not changed. You need to have a pass in math and English, and passes in relevant subjects. Okay, and a pass for CXC is now 1, 2, and 3.
On 3.
I think a lot of people who did math who did CXC, back in the day, still think that it's just a 1 and a 2, but it's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So, in terms of what you said earlier about education, do you think education, in your estimation, is a priority in St. Lucia?
Yeah, what I am seeing, I'm to be honest, I am seeing more certification
Okay.
than education. A lot of people want to be certified, but are they educated? I remember when I taught at the School of Education in Trinidad and Tobago for a number of years, and I taught research methods, I taught cognition and learning, and one of the student teachers said to me, will I pass? Will that be honest? I said, no, I am not teaching you for to be certified. I'm teaching you to be educated, for you to be the best teacher that you could be. So one of the things that we as a nation look at is certification. And that's different from education. Because when you are educated, you have a whole behavior change. You don't have to, people don't have to know that you have a PhD, or people don't have to know that you have done that.
Right.
All right? But people could, by your behavior, and if you are really educated, you're not just going to be flaming and so on, but you're going to be uplifting, you're going to be helping others excel. Since we're talking excellence, you will be helping other people excel. Because what we as a people need to do is to assist our young ones to excel. All right, to be the best that we could be. Okay.
In terms of the offerings, I heard earlier Dr. Fulgence mentioned, I think, or Dr. George, Mrs. George mentioned about the restaurant. Is SAFA meeting the needs of society in, let's say, in other areas? Are these needs being met?
I think that's an excellent question. And I think that we have been trying to do the groundwork to really ascertain what it is that employers want and what it is that they need, because these things change so very, very, very quickly. So, for example, we are offering, so most of the associate degrees, if not all of the associate degrees, have a practical component where the students have to go into the world of work for at least 2 to 3 months in order for them to get some practical experience. We always speak to the employers about soft skills. What is it that our students require in order for them to be able to succeed in the world of work? Actually, our student council is putting on, they have 5 workshops that they are organizing. And one of them is, how do you beef up your CV? How do you conduct an interview? How do you dress for an interview? What do you say, et cetera, et cetera. So we are really trying as best as possible to meet the needs of the employers. And if we're not meeting those needs, we really think that it is it's up to them to reach out to the college and you say, this young man graduated from your agriculture program and he does not know X, Y, and Z. These kinds of practices were before, but this is what you need to start introducing.
Right.
I think as well, and it's interesting because I hear this conversation about are we ready as a nation, what's important. I don't know about the statistics off the top of my head, but I think it's about maybe 65% of our student body is female. And we see UWI and tertiary education, more and more women in those positions. It's difficult to speak to the academics because, they've gone through that process. We go back to primary and secondary school. My son is at a secondary school. He's just started. And about, 65% once again of the teachers are female. And that's important. I think we do a fantastic job. But I really do feel that we need to see more male teachers in the classroom, more examples for young men. I'm not sure whether or not our teaching style as females is the best to keep these boys interested and focused. There are many fantastic female teachers that know how to teach for boys to learn and get excited. But the way girls learn, we know that. That's the statistics. My thesis was on that. Boys and girls learn radically differently. And are we teaching our teachers the methods? Are they using the methods to keep the boys engaged?
Right.
Then a lot of the times the boys feel the responsibility to go out to the world of work earlier than the girls. Because they have to provide for the family. And it's more attractive out there to make a fast dollar.
Yes.
What are we doing, not only as an academic institution, what are we doing as a church? What are we doing in the wider society to be able to support? Because I know when I was growing up, for example, whatever you didn't get at home, the school would pick it up. If the school didn't pick it up, the church would pick it up. So there were always all of these, security measures in place. And I feel like a lot of those structures have gone by the volunteerism, for example. You know, we look at sports. Before you would have more fathers, more uncles, more persons volunteering to participate in cricket and football. You go to a football match or a cricket match, and if it's not, you know, semi-pro or something to a high level, you don't see the involvement of the community, of the society.
True.
So we have to decide as a country what's important for our people. It's not only academics; it's much more than that, much broader than that.
Yeah, you mentioned something about the boys. How do we? I mean, it's not just at one level. We're talking about boys and education and the imbalance between the numbers of female students to male students at every level. You have that problem in night. Well, they used to say night classes, right? So I mean, I've heard people say that the man will go and drop the lady, and he will wait for her while she's at class, and then drop her back home, right? And so we have. How do you get the males interested?
You tell us. You're the male. What should we do differently?
I've been trying not to speak on this because these conversations I hear all the time. But I want to jump in.
Yes.
I shouldn't, but I'm jumping.
Yes. Jump in.
I think a lot of this has to do with our values. In the Caribbean, manhood is directly connected to one's ability to provide. And education is deferring provision. And I think for a lot of young men, the pressure is to be a man. You're sitting in school, you're making nothing, as we say. All right, so it's okay for a girl to be there. But you, as a man, you have to be getting. And the thing is, there are lots of other ways to get in our society these days than what used to be before. There are lots of alternatives. So there's no actual, and I'm not just talking about negative stuff. There's a lot of people, young men, who are doing things within the bounds of the law, developing themselves, and not going to traditional schools, right? So they will not be mapped out in the system. You won't see them in the system, but are they doing things? Because for them, it's always been go out there to make the money as quickly as possible, whereas it's okay for a lady, a woman to. But the problem is, in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years' time, the women are at the top. And they're still hustling to make the money because they are not invested that time.
Exactly. So
but I think it's a situation where our society has put pressure on men now. Well, it's always been that way. You have to earn. And earn as quickly as possible.
So you have to be able to convince these guys that it's worth the investment. So getting them to that point,
Earlier, Dr. Charles indicated, well, not the whole philosophy of your education and everything, but you had the comments, but why do I need education? Because you spoke about certification via
education
versus education, and you would hear, but why do I need an education when I'm already making so much money, as you were saying, Dr. Pilgrim? And so you have that challenge, and you're talking about making things attractive when I'm already making plenty, you know,
making more money out there.
And it's where the mindset, as Dr. Charles indicated, would have to change altogether. You know, how do you make that attractive despite money is being made? 10 years down the line, you're going to be in trouble if you don't.
And one of the things I must say, in terms from a TVET standpoint, because I am a champion for TVET, our TVET people make so much more money than our students who go to academia and who do whatever they have to do. So sometimes we hear people say, if you're not academic, you send them to do TVET. But TVET is academic in practice.
I'm telling you that.
So it's knowledge in practice. So you need, for you to be able to be doing the food and nutrition, you have to have the chemistry. You must have the chemistry. For you to do the electrical, you need the physics. You need the physics. So there are no two ways about it in terms of from a technical vocational standpoint. And also, they find that they don't, if they have the CVQ level 1, 2, or 3, they're happy. So, and sometimes because they make more money than us. You know, and a plumber I remember once a plumber came to check something for me. When I was living in Trinidad, he just came and just to come
to look at it.
And to look at it, he charged me $300 just to look at it. And then he told me what I needed, and then he gave me another quote. So these are some of the things that we need to pay attention to.
I was just looking at our website, so anybody can go to our website on salcc.edu.lc, and I'm just reading. Applications are now open.
Yes. I wanted to get to that. I wanted to tell us about that process and then the application. What's required and what needs to be done.
So I will just read what is on the website, and Dr. Fulgence will talk a little bit more about what is required. So according to our website, when you log on salcc.edu.lc, you will see you can choose over 50 programs.
Wow.
Covering a variety of subjects from agriculture and business to nursing and science. So we have something for everyone. And of course, we talked about, we've got the CAPE program. We didn't even, speak about that, which is the traditional program, which is CXC, CAPE A-level. Then you have the associates. You can do certificate programs as well. And we have the bachelor's programs. So now that applications are open, Dr. Fulgence, what is required?
Well, you need to have your 5 CSEC passes. I was about to say CXC, I'm showing my age here. When I say CXC, I went to a class last week and I said CXC,
and everybody looked at you. What is that? What's he talking about there?
I said CSEC, and I'm like, oh, okay, because now there's CSEC and there's CAPE, right, which is the A-level. You need your 5 passes. You need English and math. However, if you don't have math, because it's been happening for a while now, you heard the pass rate for mathematics.
Yep.
You will have a way in, but you will not be in a program. We will help you with the math, get you up to to scratch, and then you will access your program. So we have programs ranging from digital humanities, new media, creative industries. That program is quite technical, very attractive. It's where the kids do animation and design and so on and so forth. We have engineering and circular economy. That's where we do electrical engineering, we do automotive engineering, we do architecture and the environment. We have social sciences, that includes business. It's where, because I'm a social scientist, that's where my passion lies. Where we do sociology, we do economics, we do business. We also looked at what used to be called geography. People come meet me and say, doesn't Safa do geography anymore? I say, yes, we do geography, but the world doesn't call geography anymore, because now studying what used to be called geography is studying the environment. So we have environmental studies.
Okay.
Right, environmental studies and climate change, environmental studies and sustainability. We also have environmental science. So while environmental studies would teach you about the policy and so on, environmental science, you're in the field. So you need the scientific background for that, biology, chemistry, and so on. We have teacher education. We also have sustainable tourism and hospitality. In there, we have the culinary as well. So nobody goes into culinary program in the first semester because of the skills necessary, using knives and so on. If you show a penchant, a propensity to be good at that, then you could go into culinary program. That's where our chefs come from. Right. All right. We have teacher education, and some people say, "Oh, you no longer teach." We do. We have, I think, 3 teacher education programs. We have our bachelor's in primary education. We have our associate degree in secondary education. We also have a postgraduate diploma in education. So people who have their degrees could do a postgraduate diploma with us to become qualified teachers. We have agriculture. We do agribusiness and entrepreneurship. So it's not just straight agriculture.
And
we do agriculture. Climate smart agriculture. All right. And we have a farm that we use. That's our lab. So most of our students would go there. We have the modern languages. Mrs. George spoke about the importance of modern languages. They actually are a gateway into other programs around the world. We have the TVET and so we have a lot of programs there. In all, we have about 50 programs, and we will be pushing those programs for the next couple of months, or next 2 months, because I think our closing of applications is the end of July.
Right.
We'll be pushing these programs going forward.
Right. So in terms of the age, is there an age limitation?
No, there's no age limitation. There is not. There are some programs, because of the nature of them, we cannot take people who are not adults. So nursing program, you have to be 18, because there's a certain amount of liability that comes with nursing. You understand? If you're a nurse, you're taking on some serious responsibility here. I mean,
so you have to be an adult.
You have to be an adult to be able to accept that kind of liability. Right. The teacher program, back in the day, you hear people talking about, well, I started teaching when I was 15 after I finished standard 6 and so on. That's
back in the day.
No, that's back in the day. Yeah. Now you have to be able to go into the classroom and teach. I started teaching at 19. And the question was, how old are you? So you understand there are certain professions that would require that you are an adult. But our programs, no. Our programs do not have an age limit other than where there's a specific requirement for the
So at
profession.
50, you can do any of the programs.
Yeah.
In the classroom.
At 60, at
In the
80
classroom.
if you want.
In fact,
In
there
the
is
same classroom.
If, as long as you have the
yes.
time to come to the
In
classroom.
fact,
Right.
there was a
So you
lady
have
who
time.
called me about a month ago asking when applications were going to open.
Yes.
She was interested. I think she works within the Ministry of Agriculture.
Right.
She wanted to do our program in environmental studies and sustainability. And she's an adult, full-grown adult.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, we like to see ourselves as the upskilling center for St. Lucia, where people who need that to move to the next level can actually come there.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. You have a
Yes, we
question?
do have a question from the WhatsApp platform.
Yeah.
It says, if a child goes directly to university from high school, is he or she disadvantaged in any way?
That's an excellent question. And we've seen many students who have gone directly from secondary school directly to the UWI, for example, or to schools in North America. And I think that that's a personal question. Wouldn't you say
Yeah.
so? It depends on the maturity of the
Of the
student, the support system that they have in the country that they're going to, because you're not going to send your 15, 16-year-old to North America or to Europe without any kind of support system unless the institution has,
Something in place.
something in place. And so one of the things that's important at the college, it gives the students an opportunity to mature before they go off. It gives them that experience, exactly as Principal has said in the
Yes,
beginning,
earlier.
where your lecturer is not on your back, the professor's not on your. Why don't you come to class? Why don't you do your homework? So the students have an opportunity to mature. So for us,
And the parents have the opportunity to save $100,000.
yes, of course, a very important point.
Yeah.
That's made there. And I think we didn't talk about our e-learning academy, our e-learning platform, because a lot of the times people don't understand that even if you can't come physically to campus, some of our programs are offered exclusively online,
Excellent.
particularly to offer people who work,
Professionals.
professionals,
yeah.
yes, an opportunity to continue learning and to
So,
access our
Some
programs.
courses, in some of the degrees, not all of them. Of
Some of
the
them,
courses.
but we're working on all of them. Because it takes time, because,
Yeah, of course.
but we're working on the traditional ones.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that will be specified on the website. This is
Yes.
fully online.
Yeah,
Part
or
online,
blended.
blended.
And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Mhm.
and we did really, really well through COVID. I mean, we were one of the few institutions in the region that was already ready, because we already had a platform called Moodle where we were training our teachers on how to put information and so
Right.
forth online. And the advantage, because I taught during that period, is that the students were able to see from the get-go the entire curriculum for the semester. They knew when the tests were, whatever it is that they uploaded, they can go back and see their scores immediately. So there is that advantage to having the online platform as part of the learning process.
I want to plug a question here. We've heard, I heard so long ago about from community college to university. And what is the challenge hindering us, and how do we overcome that challenge?
That's a good question. Very, very good question. There are a number of issues. The first challenge is that with finance. Right? Because we need in order for you to move from a community college to a university college or a university, we need to have resources. We need to have our everything in place. You need to put your house in order first. You need to make sure that your courses are ready, are benchmarked against international standards, and that's what we have been doing over the years. We also need to ensure that our infrastructure is ready for that. Okay, so as if you realize our library, we have a library a library that needs a lot of work. You need to have fully functioning library, and if we have to move with the times, the changes in the dynamic educational landscape, we need to also have these things in place before we even look at it. But we are working towards it. But we putting things in place first. Sometimes you go in a go wash, like people say, and do things, and then we have to pull back.
Right.
We do not want to pull back. We want to do it incrementally until we're ready. So the first thing, we have to ensure that we have our staff prepared, our programs, and we have the money, because it takes a lot of money to run a university.
Well, I guess the government will give you some more. So speaking about that and talking about being ready, getting ready, and I couldn't help but reflect on what Mrs. George was saying about the need for teachers and so on. Do we really have a need for that? And when you're going to be moving into, whether it's 5 years or 10 years, does that take into consideration need for your lecturers and all?
Okay, one of the things I'm coming from university, so I could speak to that. Remember, we're a community college, and we have lecturers with various degrees of qualifications and experience. Now, this can work in community colleges, but when you move into a university, you have to look at it from a different standpoint. And our VP of academics would speak to you about that, because when we're speaking of a lecturer, we're not just looking at teaching. We're looking at research. We're looking at publications. We're looking at community development, community activities, community engagement. We're looking at the public intellectual as a person who speaks to issues that are affecting us. So these are some of the things that we have to ensure that whoever, Sir Arthur Lewis Community College should be the first port of call to discuss the issues that we at a conference.
That's the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Okay, and we're working on that.
Yeah, that's what
we are working on being the first port of call to us to address the issues that are confronting us. So, as a university, these are things that have to be in place: teaching, research, publications, and so on. Okay.
Yeah. So for us to,
and also being able to pay them for all of that.
Exactly, the salaries.
Yeah.
So for us to achieve that that important step, we need to make education a priority.
A priority. That's what I asked you. I said, what is your philosophy of education?
Yes.
What do you see education as? And how important is education for you? We're not just mouthing, because we are, as a generation, who talk a lot. But after all that's said and done, there's a lot more said than done. So we need to start doing and talking less.
Right. Yeah. And of course, looking back at the contribution that Sir Arthur has made, what would be St. Lucia be without Sir Arthur?
Sir Arthur is our indigenous college, and there are a number of people who cannot afford to send their children to university. And we at Sir Arthur Lewis, we are that point for them, for the students whose parents cannot pay the $100,000s and stuff to send the children overseas to do the associate degrees and whatever. So a lot of people cannot even. I think we are very cheap, but some people still can't afford it. So without the Sir Arthur, those students living in vulnerable or socioeconomic challenges may not be able to access higher education.
Yeah, and I remember some years ago reading a World Bank paper. In World Bank, they speak a lot about us. I was looking at the percentage of people in your society who has to have tertiary education to impact development.
Yeah.
And the Caribbean, Latin America is one of the regions in the world that is way behind everybody else. And as an institution, it's our responsibility to take us to the next level. Be the port of call for all tertiary education in St. Lucia. It's the only indigenous one. And our education is about creating not just a worker, but a national productive citizen. You could go and get your training anywhere, but we're not just doing training. We're developing people for our society, and citizens who will help develop and improve our society.
And that is significant, that is important for us to understand. And the powers that be, the policymakers and those persons sitting in the important meeting rooms, I would say to you that education should be top priority, because and sometimes because you cannot put they say that education does not bring any money. That's a statement that people make. You think of other sectors, for example, tourism. You put money in tourism, and then you get something back. You can see it find
The
you can,
tangible
it's tangible. You
rewards.
can see
Yeah.
the tangible rewards. So that, and then when you look at education, you see you more invest in and you don't see. But there is a lot of gains to have your society being educated. Yes.
But in the tour, if you brought up the tourism sector,
Mhm.
but we need the HR, we need the human resource
Mhm.
to be able to make the tourist sector what it is.
Yes. Yeah,
Right?
and imagine you having persons who are not ready to welcome the guests and to interact with them and to produce excellence. There'll be complaints about service delivery.
So in the pursuit of excellence, we always have to ensure that our workforce is.
Yes.
I wanted to say that the
Call?
St. Lucia
You have a call?
Development, the St. Lucian Development Bank next week, in 2 weeks on a Wednesday, they're going to be coming to the college to speak to parents and students about loan opportunities to be able to study at the college and beyond. And so one of the things as advancement officer that I'm working on is to ensure that these various entities come to the college and share opportunities with the students or help the students to find ways of continuing their education. About 2 weeks ago, we had the Taiwanese come in to speak to our students about the requirements for getting the scholarships to study in Taiwan, because currently I think there were about 35 students who got scholarships, and most of them come from the South Louis Community College to go over to Taiwan and then come back to St. Lucia to contribute to the development of our country. So this is extremely important. So we do invite the public, if parents want to come and learn a little bit more about how do I finance education after Sa'atha, or how do I finance education going, my kids are still at secondary school and I want to come to the college. The St. Lucia Development Bank will be on campus on March 12th. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and they can reach out to us for more information.
As you saying that, a question came to mind. At what point should I consider? I have a child. At what point should I consider SAFA? Is it when the child is in Form 5? When do I think, okay, SAFA Louis is an option? At what point?
Form 3.
From Form 3.
And some schools Form 2, because you're making subject choices.
Right.
Yeah.
At that point, where do you want to go? I'm not looking at a place, I'm looking at in life, what is that you want to achieve? The field that you want to be interested in. I think from that point on, you start looking at South Louis. See what they offer. How is it being offered? Because you need to have goals and you move in a specific direction. And then you may decide, okay, based on what we want to do, that's not what. Right. But you have to start planning from that point. Right. Some schools have this stress make choices in Form 2. It's mind-blowing to me, because I remember in Form 2, if they'd asked me what I wanted to do in Form 2, I wouldn't be where I am now. And others in Form 3.
Yes.
But at that point, you start looking at what South Louis is
So
offering.
as part of the subject choices, you'd also look at the options available, because you will have to enroll in some of these programs.
Yeah.
And you need
Yeah.
these certain subjects for certain programs as well.
I think it's important to also say that, I think the studies are showing that young people may start off with a degree, for example, in marketing, and within 2 years' time, they're pursuing something else.
Yeah.
And 3 years after that, they're pursuing something else. Education is about learning how to learn, loving to learn, that kind of a thing. So, for example, I started off as a Spanish teacher, like I said, and now I'm an advancement officer, and I work in several other fields outside of that. And now that my kids are learning, I'm learning together with them. And I just really want to put in the plug out there too for parents. You need to be engaged in what your children are doing. Don't leave them to the devices all of the time. And that World Bank document also speaks to that parents have to show their children the value of education, which means that what are you learning today? Oh, that you're learning Mandarin, you're learning why tell me what you're learning. Show some interest in what they're learning, and then that always motivates the young people. Reading, we look at people, everybody's on a device now, and that's okay, because that is the world that we live in. But we should also put some time apart and say, let's read a short story together. It could be a graphic novel. Remember when we were growing up, we like Archie, comics, etc. Any kind of reading. We talk about increased vocabulary, etc. But it's just the joy of it, learning, seeing something outside of your environment. This is extremely important. So I'd really like to put this plug in for parents to show your young persons the importance of education, because it starts there as well.
Yeah.
We have a question.
Oh, yeah, this is a question. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's take the question from the WhatsApp platform. Is there anything SALCC can do to attract more male students?
Well, first of all, we no longer call ourselves SALCC, parce que nous pas sale. We say SALCC.
Yes, Para.
What's the question again?
Is there anything SALCC
That's
can
right.
do to
They tested
attract
you there.
more male students?
They
Yes.
tested you there.
I don't know that we could do anything to attract male students other than to show them what is available. The whole thing about male students, I think, has to do with mindset and how we perceive education. So I don't think the college itself could change the mindset. What we could do is when we get male students, let them see the value of education.
Yeah.
But for the wider society, we need to start pivoting from what we think education is and what national development is.
I have
But-
a
but-
suggestion.
But the issue is not us showing them how, because it's difficult to find engineering. We have engineers, the practicals, but even in our engineering programs, there are now more girls than there
Really?
Yeah.
are, right?
So
I had a member of faculty had a car that broke down, and then, of course, me being old and sexist, when they said, "Oh, the students are coming to help her,"
You fought.
and then some girls came. So I'm like, "Where are the students?" And there were about 4 auto mechanic students who came to help, and they were all girls, and they came with their tools, and
Yeah.
That's-
And they helped.
oh yeah, they fixed the problem, right? So that's the kind of issue we have right now. So I'm saying we could show them, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's just us showing them because the mindset is already there. Why we have students who come to do the first part of the auto mechanics program, the male students, and having gotten that first part,
Right,
of the
they
certification,
go-
they drop out because now they can make money on the side of the
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then they could have stayed in there, finished the entire program,
Right.
and be a lot more skilled.
Yeah.
The Auto Mechanics Association and the body shops and so on, they're saying that they don't have enough people to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and we can go on and on and on and on, but I don't think the college itself could actually change the mindset. I think it's more societal.
So I'm hearing you
Mindset.
calling. So this is where I think it's been alluded many times. So it's just society support from parents, the churches. It's a lot of work.
It's a village.
Yeah,
The
it's a
coaches
village.
as well. I mean, we just actually secured the boys basketball championships recently at the college. So it's important for parents to know and persons who are interested in the you can continue your sport at the college. So we have a huge sporting group there that's supported in all ways in terms of football, basketball,
Athletics.
netball, athletics, etc., etc. Cricket,
We have theater as well.
theater. Yes, the
In
creatives
fact,
would.
some years ago, our students actually wrote a play that went as far as Carifta.
Yeah.
Yes, a little folk
A
tale.
little folktale, yeah.
And
so-
and then we have our band.
and we started just started with a band, musical band.
I was suggesting that in terms of the male students, maybe not just SAFA, but the other educational institutions could probably get the male professionals, those who have done the certification to probably,
Mentor.
you mentor, or you could do some short video clips about, not too long, so that they can, that's part of you could have it probably part
For marketing.
for marketing.
Mhm.
So they do short clips because they themselves have gone through the process, and they can see them as these role models. Okay, he did it, and maybe that could be some form of encouragement for them as well.
Yeah.
I have there's a young guy, I don't know, maybe you've seen it. There's a young guy in Shoza, and he built a motorcycle with wood. I don't know if you guys ever.
That happened in St. Lucia,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the engine is a small engine, but the tire structure is in wood.
and it works.
Yes, it was on the news and everything.
Wow.
One independent bike ride, he was in one of those there, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I was trying to get him into getting into the program and so on, but I mean he came up with some discouragement, and I still think he can enter because this guy is so gifted and talented. And so we have that issue where, listen, he has that, and I'm thinking society, whether in the community, should really rally around him and maybe
push him.
pull him, and
You can
place
find
him there.
you can find lots of people. I know a young man who's a brilliant mechanic,
Mhm.
but these days a brilliant mechanic is not enough
Right.
because
Need the
cars
people.
there's so much
Yeah,
electronics
right.
in cars now.
Yeah.
So he could play around with the engine, he could fix it for you, but can he go to the next level?
Right.
But he will not go to school because he does not want the structure of
Yeah.
being in a class.
Yeah.
He doesn't want. He wants to do it when he wants to.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So that's the issue we have to deal with when I want to, and that's why the students are dropping out after one semester of or 1 year of being exposed to auto mechanics because they figure I got it, so let me go and make
Let
some
me go
money.
and-
They will become obsolete.
Yeah.
Well,
They-
well, yeah,
They will,
yeah, because now
there will be
it's
no place
electric,
for them in that
Yeah.
future.
electric
Yeah.
cars and hybrid cars.
The
that's what
hybrid, the
we're going right now.
EVs and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why, as you said, Dr. Jameson, that it's important to always learn how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Lifelong learning, because what you learn today may be obsolete tomorrow, and you have to be able to do it independently.
Yeah, because when I did educational psychology all these years ago, I didn't do AI,
Yeah.
but now I have to learn about AI and
Yeah,
how to use AI in my work
Yes.
and in school, and because AI is a very, very good tool to
Yeah.
use, but we need to know how to use it.
Yes. How has that affected lecturers and lecturing and,
It's a
and grading?
major issue for every academic institution in
Every
the world.
in the world, yeah.
In the world, okay? And we've had to spend money to do it, where we have to use our plagiarism checkers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the platforms, you have to pay for these things, they're very expensive. I
Yeah.
won't mention the costs here. Then we've been training our faculty as well
Mm-hmm.
to actually use the platforms and to
use
actually see how AI is being used in the classroom. So we're training people. We have people going to conferences, virtually, of course, because you can't send 50 people across to. So we have to do it in the ways that we can to get people trained and to understand. It takes a while because a lot of people who are not tech savvy are still terrified of AI. I have colleagues, right, across the Caribbean who would say, I'm not going to use this. And I'm saying, no, but it can make your work easier. It's a tool. The example I always use is, if I'm supposed to go cut a tree for someone right now and I'm using an axe, they should fire me
Yeah.
because there's a chainsaw.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So
They should buy.
all right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's something beyond the chainsaw. You can just
there's
attach
no-
it to the tree
And then you
can cut it.
So
Yes.
technology.
I think that it's important also to say that there's not a linear way to success, right? So you don't have to come to the college and just do the traditional path. If you want to do a course here and then, you want to take some time off because you're working or whatever it is, we offer that as well.
Okay.
So you can do standalone classes and you can build on that.
Right.
So this is extremely important because some people think, I don't have the time, I don't have the, I've got to work, what am I going to
stop
do?
my work.
I don't want to stop.
Yes.
Exactly. I have to take care of my family. How am I going to study? What am I going to do? So that we have 3-month courses. There are these short courses that one can take, and then afterwards you take a break, and then you can come back. So there are lots of ways in order for you to get your degree.
And,
Yes.
yeah, and you get credit for it, and then
And you get
now we're
credit.
working on micro credentialing.
Okay.
Okay.
That's nice.
Oh, nice. Okay, we have a question. Someone is asking, is fishing a part of the agriculture program?
Actually, no, it is not. No,
Not
it is
yet.
not.
But
yet.
we're working on the blue economy
yet.
thing.
So,
and
yes.
we have a project.
We have a
with,
very interesting
we
project
have a
starting.
very interesting project starting on the blue
It's a blue
economy.
economy. Everything to
Yeah.
do with fishing,
Yeah.
aquaponics, and
Marine
so on and so
life.
forth, right?
Marine life, but
Marine
we
life.
just starting the project. Yeah, so
Because we
it's not
understand
part
its relevance.
Okay.
We were just told recently by our French colleagues, because in order for when you're in the French institutions, you must learn how to swim.
Yeah.
And we know that about 80% of our populace here in St. Lucia, we don't know how to swim.
Hello, I was shocked to find out there's fishermen who can't swim.
Yeah.
Ah,
Of course.
I was buying fish.
They're
one
always
time
on a
and,
boat.
and they introduced me to they said he was the best fisherman in the
Yes.
crew,
Yeah.
but he couldn't swim.
Yes.
So he goes out with a life jacket and
Of course.
it has flabbergasted.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time on the ocean in these pirogues, but you can't swim.
Yeah.
So cognizant of that, our programs take into account that some of our persons cannot swim.
Mhm.
And so we're looking at ways to incorporate that as well.
right.
So you're going to put in swimming pool over and
Well,
You see why we did all the resources?
The funding, yeah.
Yeah, but
Funding,
then we're
yes.
working on something on the blue economy
Okay.
project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
yes.
Mhm.
in terms of support, because talking about job placements, the program is being done and so on and so forth. Oh, there's a question?
No.
No.
Time to end?
Yes.
it's 3:30. I know we can stay here for another half an hour. I know.
To end.
So yes, every associate's degree program, like I indicated,
Must do
there
an
is,
internship.
you must do an internship.
Well, the question is, do you get, so every child who leaves assured a place, not lives, I'm not talking about work here. the job placement.
Yes, as long as you have to do the AD, you must do the internship.
So in terms of businesses supporting you, you have that.
Yeah, yes.
Since we have our partners here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And any business who is supporting SAFA in that regard, you're making an awesome contribution.
To national building and to society, and you're part of the village.
You want more?
Yes.
You want more businessmen? You want more people to join?
And we want to thank our partners. There are a lot of people that have a lot of confidence. You know, the OECS. I don't want to name names because I'm
Yes.
going to leave quite a few of them out
And upset
Right.
some people.
and upset some people. So there are a lot of people that are supporting our program, supporting our students quietly, overtly, all kinds of ways. And we want to really take this opportunity to thank them. We thank, the Board of Governors of the South Louis Community College, the principal, vice principals, our teachers, our lecturers, because they're the first, faces that our students see. Our new deans, we have new deans now. So we all try to work together in order to push pursuit of excellence, So just want to thank everybody that continues to support the college in any way.
Yeah,
And just to remind you, applications are open.
yes.
Yes, we'll be making the rounds, pushing our programs, letting people see the good work that we're doing up there, what's available, and what the pathways are to actually access our programs.
Yes. So we just want to thank the administration of South Louis Community College for being here and giving us this wonderful information. Of course, we know that education is very important.
Sorry to interrupt. We have a call. Should we take it?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's
At
take
least we
that
can
call.
take one call.
Praise, good day. You are on the air. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice having my people in the radio station. I'm working at the AFA. It's nice having you all. They're listening to you all.
Amen.
But I want to encourage you all in everything. Put God first.
Praise the Lord.
Thanks.
He is in control. He is in charge. And he will do everything good for all of us.
Excellent.
Amen.
It's a nice place to work. I can say for myself, the way I watch it is a family at SAFA.
Wow, that's great. That's a good
Students and housekeeping staff, management, that's the way I feel because it's 34 years I working at SAFA and I can see for myself, I can say for myself. I don't know for other people how they watch us. But I see for myself the love, I see the family.
So in these 34 years, is that the best time you've ever had?
No. Always have a good time. Always. With my people, my family. I always praying for them, always calling upon God for them. So I just want to wish them. I beg your pardon?
No, I was just making sure they know your voice.
I know her very, very, very well. She always gives love. I think wherever she works, she's
always
positive.
gives love, yeah.
She's a wonderful.
And
This is a
always
great
pray.
call. I'm happy you see God made you take that call for a reason.
Yes, that's Sister Brenda
I
from
know
housekeeping.
I know her.
Yes, Sister Brenda.
Right.
That's my radio station. I tune to that radio station. I love the
Oh, yes,
people
that's
at the radio
excellent.
station.
Amen.
I love you all and I'm praying for you all. But my people at the AFA, I there with you all. I'm praying for you all. I don't have the finance to give. If I had, I bless you all. But God is great. It's
Oh,
coming.
yes.
You're giving a lot
In
already.
Jesus'
Eh?
name.
Yes.
Exactly. 34 years you've given me. Couldn't ask for more.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's nice having you all. I at work, but I'm listening to you all.
All right. Thank you for that call.
Thank
Okay,
you,
all
Paula.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, bye-bye. I pray for you all and I love you all with all my heart. I appreciate you all. So I want to encourage you all, put God first.
Amen.
Everything you all do, God meeting, any meeting with students, open in praise, and God will see us through at the AFA.
Thank you
All right.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Like
Call.
good
Yes,
Yes.
all right.
Let me
Take
join
care.
it. Let me join with the encouragement, Sister Brenda. You said
Yeah.
yes to the administrators here. Of course, you as principal leader, we work together at Antripo, so I know you very well. I'm proud of you and your accomplishment and the way you lead in the highest institution in St. Lucia. So you guys, as you meet together, let me encourage you. Of course, there'll be days when things are not working as you want it to, but knowing that the contribution you're making and how it affects our country now and in the future, I would encourage you all to keep pressing on and keep doing the best that you can do in the pursuit of excellence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we thank you for being here. We look forward to the next. You should come back.
Next issue.
Yes.
We'll work that out.
The next edition.
Yes. And of course, now you'll be curious, and I'll tell you why after. We want to say to our viewers and listeners, thank you very much for remaining tuned. Thank you, Sister Brenda, for calling.
Yes.
And that speaks volume, of course, to those who are here. And we pray, of course, that will work out in an excellent way for the enrollment for Sir Arthur. And as we end, I want to remind you, wherever you go and whatever you do, mind your business.
Amen.
Mind Your Business was brought to you by Kena Neuro, the Brain, Spine, and Nerve Center. Thank you for tuning in. We hope that this program has helped you to understand a little more your God-given responsibility to care for one another. Join us next Wednesday at 2 p.m. for another episode on Mind Your Business with Pastor Leroy David and Alvin Flora.
It is our desire that you draw into a closer relationship with the Lord Jesus through our daily programming. Therefore, if you would like to receive a copy of any sermon, interview, or other presentation heard on Praise FM, give us a call at 452-1011 or 452-1022. You can also send us a message on Facebook at Praise FM St. Lucia or an email at praisefm985@gmail.com. That is PRAYZFM985@gmail.com. We will be happy to provide copies for you in exchange for a kind contribution. Continue to be blessed by our daily inspirational programming.
Safe for the family every time. Praise FM Radio.
On January 4th, 1875, at the dedication of Battle Creek College, Ellen White related a vision she had received the day before. Stephen Haskell, sitting beside the platform, realized that Ellen's information was the same as some reports he had recently given to James about conversions in other countries.
I was shown that progress has been made in the Scandinavian countries because of literature and tracts sent from America.
Brother White, you've told Sister White what I told you. I assure you. No, Brother Haskell.
There is strong interest in those northern countries and in other countries in more remote parts of the world.
May I interrupt a moment?
Yes, of course.
Are you relating what someone has told you or what you've seen?
Why, I'm relating what I've seen. I've also seen that there are unthought of fields where the work is to be